Hello and welcome, my name is Plantain Jackson, happy to be here as always. Today with me, Deadpool. Welcome everybody, welcome. Today we're going to be learning some Adobe Photoshop and how to make a funny video. Because I sure do know how to make a video, don't I? No.
Dad jokes.
Yeah, no, dad jokes. So I thought, I'm going to have Deadpool edit some of my videos, and what better way to show him by showing you guys and always having a video so he can reference. And also I need to edit my videos for tomorrow, so this is actually doing my job for tomorrow. So a lot of stuff happening. But as always guys, don't forget that I post here on YouTube every single weekday, and I also stream here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see here today. So, first off, I use Adobe Premiere. It's the 2020 edition. I pay for a monthly fee, but you guys don't need to. There's a lot of free programs out there. I started on a program called DaVinci Resolve, which is actually free, and it looks really similar to Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Premiere. There's that, and there's I don't remember the name of it, but there was a Photoshop online that you could use for free, and it is basically watered down Photoshop, but you can do everything that you need to do and probably more. So all the stuff that you need to make a video is free. Now, where you get your content, like I use an Elgato HD60 Pro to capture like Nintendo Switch content, or if not, I use Stream Elements OBS to capture stuff up on my computer, so that helps out a lot too. So let's get started. Anyways, this is a blank scene. I started a new save file, right? I named it Cuphead 4. So this is Cuphead episode 4, so you guys will be seeing this the day after Cuphead releases. So it won't spoil anything, and we'll get a nice video off of it. So I have Cuphead already in my files saved, and right now when I drag it in, you'll see it. It'll go into this project area, right? You can see it says Project Cuphead 4. It's going to import that video into the scene, right? So it's not in the editor itself. The place where you want to edit is like right here in the middle. It's sort of in your, these are all the files that I need to work with. The other things I do to start a video off is add in my sub animation, right? When I ask you guys to sub like this, it'll show up on the screen and it just shows somebody subscribing. It's actually funny because it shows like my channel when it was like 200 subs or something like that. So it's actually fun. For those who have actually noticed, it's quick. You can almost not see it. And then the outro, right? So those are the starts of everything. Now, before we get into like dropping everything in and like getting everything, for sources, what I use for sources for funny memes, and you guys might want to check these out too. We're not sponsored by them by any means. We're not like nothing, right? This is just something that somebody showed me at some point and I liked it, so I'm gonna show you guys right here. So this is what I use for sounds, right? I use my instance, so you can go to myinstance.com and it'll show you everything you need to know to like download sound bits, right? It has just everything you need. It's a very good library. That's the sounds, and then I wanted to show you guys. So the third thing that I use for my channel is this text-to-speech tool that I found online. So it's also free. It's not copyrightable, so it's not claimable by any bot, is what I saw in this site.
So whatever you make in there,
they won't claim. Yeah. Don't take my word for it. Do your research. But it's my understanding that you won't get claimed. So I usually use Brian, British English Brian, and it's pretty easy. You just type something, "Hi, I'm a bot," like something like that. And punctuation matters, commas matter. Like, go read this.
Hi, I'm a bot.
Hi, I'm a bot. Right. So for that example, like comma, right? Hi, I'm a bot.
Hi, I'm a bot.
I didn't write this clearly, right? If your guy's not saying what you need him to say, it's probably your fault.
Hi, I'm a bot.
There you go. Hi, I'm a bot. This is what you do. You download it as an MP3, and then you have a sound file, right? So you can. It always shows up as tts mp3.com voice blah 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 blah. What you do with this is right from here, you drag and drop it, it's in your scene. You have it, right? So alright, this is all good and dandy. We're gonna put this one aside because we're probably gonna use a lot of sound clips. Brian will use maybe later, but we can search them up either way. So let's get started with the setting up of the video, right? So you have all your sources, and remember, this will be in a video for you guys to reference later. So if you don't think you got everything down right now, just go back to the video and you'll be able to catch up. I'm gonna keep storming through. So first things first, let's add our source clip, right? So our source clip, we just drag and drop right in the center, bam, that's our video. 45 minutes of juicy content, right? It's a lot. We're gonna trim a lot of this out, guys. For Cuphead especially, I do not like to show the stage being played over and over again. Quick little tool tips, right? This is your video. This guy right here, that's your video. These are your 2 audio tracks. Now, I save 2 audio tracks for a reason. And there's sort of a mindset to be had here about saving stuff separately. For example, saving your video from your camera, right? That could be saved separately. I don't do it because it's too complicated, my camera overheats. But if you could, your freedom to do more stuff just expands more, right? Because just imagine if you have a video by itself that you can crop the green screen already in here in Premiere, which is pretty easy. But you could also move it around and it has the full quality of a 1080p video. Right now this has been reduced, right? Our faces have been reduced. So keeping your sources as raw as possible is the best way to go. So I save my voice separately from the game, and in the games is also Pangus, right? So Pangus is in this video. So his voice is there. So it lets me modulate, right? It lets me put the game and Pangus's voice higher for some things and my voice lower. So you guys hear him over me or vice versa, right? Just in case I want to capture something. And it gives you a lot of freedom other than that. So, right. So here's how the video starts, right? A couple of tips for how to navigate through here. You saw that I zoomed in, right? To start, I hit Alt and I scroll in. Wherever you're hitting the mouse, that's where it's gonna scroll in, right? That's how you're gonna navigate. Now, if you want to move around, right, left to right, you can just move the scroll wheel once you click in here, right? Move back and forth. But you have to be in the box, like this has to be highlighted. To zoom in and out, you don't have to be highlighted. Now, video, right? Video, audio, and audio. We're gonna check that it's synced right now. We're gonna play. We're gonna see that my mouth is moving at the same pace that my voice are going. There's one thing that happens a lot when you do a lot of audio tracks. You lose sync. So getting sync back is tricky, but it's not impossible. And I'll show you how. So we're gonna hit the space bar to start. The audio hardware is not capturing for us, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap that out. So Adobe has a couple preferences, right? Just like a computer, it will try to pick up on your audio hardware. So it wants to know what your mic is, it wants to know what your speakers are. So it can show you the audio that's coming through. So if you go to Edit, Preferences, and Audio Hardware, you'll be able to find all that. And you'll see the microphone. I use a Yeti microphone. The Dell is that monitor, which is connected through an auxiliary cable into my speakers. So that's the one that we want to use. But it doesn't matter if you pick this because it's still on there. We're just going to do the Acer. Yep. Get started. It sounds like a potato, but it's
Hello and welcome. My name is Plantain Jackson. Happy to be here as always. Today we're jumping back into some more Cuphead. So as always, guys, don't forget that I post here on YouTube every single weekday, and I also stream here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time.
All right, so we have the audio issue fixed now. Hopefully you guys can hear it as well. I see it action popping up there. All right. So
Alrighty.
Action there.
Let me get started.
Anyways.
Hello and welcome. My name is Plantain Jackson.
It looks like
we're here as always. Today we're jumping back into some more Cuphead.
But if we weren't synced, right, you would just have to go in here, click on the audio part of it. You're gonna want to right click, and after that you're gonna say unlink. That means they're all separate now. They're separate tracks. You see how I clicked before and it highlighted all three?
Yeah.
Now it only highlights one, because now you can like start moving it around a little bit, right? You can start like actually changing where this starts and action, just so you see like.
Alrighty, let me get
This
started.
is probably the
Hello and
the
welcome.
game
My name
audio,
is
right?
Plantain Jackson. Happy to be
that's
here
the
as
game audio
always.
I'm playing this. So we're just gonna undo that. Control Z works well for this as well. So Control Z, undo everything. Yeah. If you want to redo something, Control Shift Z, which helps out a lot. So a couple tools to go through this, right? What I'm using right now is a selection tool. And all it does is pick up stuff and move it around. So if you wanted to move it up or down or something like that, then that's fine. The up and down is basically just the voice channel. You're gonna have all of them when you render this out. It's gonna take all of them. So it's just an organizing tool.
For yourself, yeah. So
Yeah, I take a second to start here. And I usually do that because I'm letting the hardware catch up to me. If I hit the go button and start recording and I'm already talking, the audio might not catch everything exactly at the same second I hit it. So I give it a second, right? And then usually I
Alrighty,
say
let me get started.
an alrighty or something like that, and that's more or less me checking audio, that everything's bleeping on the side over here. So hello and welcome. And whenever I do the hello and welcome, that's usually what you guys get to see, which is the start of the video, right? So for me to chop this side off, you're gonna go to the cut tool, right? The razor tool. There's a neat trick here where you can jump into different tools. I always jump between these two. Cutting and moving is very important. So I'm gonna go between C and B. So cut and move. So you'll see a little razor blade where it goes, and it likes to snap onto this bar where you're at.
okay.
So the trick is go to where you think it's gonna start, right? We can do a little bit less, so I'm not like instantly flaming my arms. Maybe just like that. And then we'll cut. We'll cut there. That'll make two selectable items. You see that? Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back here, you're gonna delete, and then you're gonna go back to the move tool, right? That's the intro, right?
Hello and welcome. My name is Plantain Jackson. Happy to be here as always today.
All right, so that's perfect. Now let's add some more stuff. So we cut it to where we need. Let's start adding effects. So I like to use a fade in effect, right? So it's not so like, blah, there's the video. You just want to go into effects. There's an effects menu. If you don't see it, just go to view and look for effects and make sure it's checked, and it'll pop up somewhere for you. So into the effects, I always like to do a dip to black. So to grab this thing, just same as everything else, just hold down to it, click it, drag and drop it all the way to the corner. You're gonna see that little highlighted brown edge. Go ahead and drop it there. And that's the effect. So if we wanna extend the effect, we're gonna zoom in real quick, right? And we want to extend and grab it. That's what we need to extend, right? That's gonna let it be a longer fade. So we're gonna undo that because whatever it comes by default is good enough. So this is the end.
Hello
end
and welcome.
effect,
My
right?
name is
A little
Plantain
fade in.
Jackson. Happy to be
The
here.
other thing I used to do a lot into my videos was start the video from my face, right? So I start the video on my face and then I show the full picture at the end. It's just something stylizing, right? But by stylizing, you also learn how to use a lot of the tools. So you saw that I did a quick cut here, right? So I'm separating the effect from the rest of it. So whatever I do to this effect, whether it be zoom in or like flip it around or shake it, it'll only be on this block, right? As a single item,
Okay.
right? So this is an entity, basically, a single item. I can do a lot to it. So when I clicked into this, under effect controls, this whole menu showed up, right? There's a bunch of effects that we can add. And if it doesn't show up, you're probably like here on source clips. You just need to click to effects control. Every source has an effects control,
Got it.
right? So when you're clicked on it, just go to effects control. And you'll see a small little scroll bar up here, right? That's the whole length
That's the
of
whole
that
length
of the thing, right? The thing that you're doing. So there's a trick here, right? I want to start at my face and I want to end up full scale. So I want to start zoomed in and then I want to get to this position, right? So if I know already my end position, and you guys can see it on position and scale on the left, I'm hovering over it with the mouse. So my end goal is what? Where I am here. So let's go ahead and click these two stopwatches. That means that across time, this number will change. My position, my X and Y, and my zoom will change. So towards the end, I want it to be where we're at, 100%, right? 100%, 916, 540, which is usually the default for everybody. So for the start, what we want to do is we want to move this to the right a little bit, so we decrease the X. It doesn't really matter because you can slide it around and see, like, okay, this is less, this is more. You more or less figure it out. The numbers don't really matter. It just needs to look good, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put myself right in the center, and then I'm gonna zoom in into that sucker right there and sort of adjust my way into a nice zoomed in area where I can see my face. And it's gonna be a quick animation. I'm gonna show you guys how. So we're gonna start it right there. Right after the fade in.
Hello and welcome. My name is Plantain Jackson. Happy to be here.
All right, so there's a nice little transition, but I think it's a little bit slow, right? So you see these two triangles right here?
Yeah.
So these are your key points or keyframes, right? Keyframes are like, I want the camera to be here at this point. And then if there's another one next to it, he's gonna say, oh, if I need to get to there, I'm gonna start creeping my way over there. So it adds that effect of like movement.
So it's smooth.
Yeah, so it's smooth. So it's not choppy, right? Right, because it's basically going from point A to point B, but it's going through all the points in between along the way. And you can see it in the position, right? You see how this number decreases in position X, and then position Y keeps moving as well. That's what it's doing. It's adding numbers. So if you want to make it faster, then you have to tell it, hey, get to point V, or point B, sorry, quicker than what I said before. One quick trick, just grab them and scroll it to the left. There you go. That's a quicker animation. So when you
Hello
start
and
here,
welcome. My
boom,
name is Plantain
faster.
Jackson. Happy
You
to
want
be
it
here as
faster?
always.
Even more
Today
to the
we're
left, right. So it's a matter of seeing it here and sort of playing with where the camera has to be in what point of time. That's all it is. So that's an intro, and it takes a lot of time, right? But once you learn it, it's super quick because you know, okay, chop the intro, drop the key markers, drop the dip to black, start the clip, see where you want to start, and then see where you want to end. And that's it. And you have an intro. So the other thing I like to do is add the sub, right?
at 8 p.m. Central Time.
So right here, I always say, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see today. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the sub video and just sort of drag it right where I'm about to say that, right? Right where I'm about to say that. And it's just gonna superimpose it on the screen. So a lot like Photoshop, whatever is above is what's above on the screen.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see here today.
Right, the
Also,
video
don't forget
does
to
that
check out
automatically.
Pangus's channel in the description down below. Check out Pangus's channel in the
Pangus's channel. I think we can start showing off Pangus's channel here. I think it'll be funny if we keep my mouth going in the background like an idiot and then show the channel, but we don't want to just leave it here. We want something to happen, and that's sort of the themes of these videos. Something has to be moving in the screen as much as you can. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this. We're gonna say link in the description, or link in description, and we're gonna make it bounce. First, we're gonna choose the right font. If you don't see a font here that you like, you could go to a website called, and this is another reference that I'm gonna put in the description down below. You can go to one called The Font, right? So The Font, so if you have one that you think stands out to you, right? You could say like, I'm gonna do some retro font for this video. What you want to do is click on Retro TTF. It's gonna install your fonts. There you go. So you have that now. Now for Premiere to acknowledge that you added a new font, you have to restart the program. So, you know, pros and cons, but it's also worth it sometimes if you want a certain style for your video, right? So we're right where we left off. No issue. So we're gonna go back into link of the description, and this one was called retro, so we're gonna just type in the search bar retro, and there it is, retro. That's our font. Link in the description. Now the font really doesn't stick out too much, right?
No, yeah,
Without borders it doesn't stick out. You always need to add a stroke. Stroke is just an outline, a border. So I'm gonna add in a black stroke, right? By going into appearance and right here, checking the box stroke. And then I click the color and it'll show this menu, and I'm just gonna drop a black one. So you're gonna see, you still can't see it because the thickness or the width of it is really low. It's 1. So we're gonna move it up to 5. And you can scroll this up and down as well. So it's still not there. Let's see, a nice 20. 20 is cool. So we're gonna do link in the description. We're gonna get this guy a little bit bigger. I think we need some finger pointing or some arrows. We're gonna grab that from the old Google again. We're just gonna search up pointy finger, and hopefully something evil doesn't show up. And that's how I like to edit. Real quick, doesn't matter because we're gonna delete all this towards the end. But now we're gonna drag and drop it over here. And now here comes the fun part, positioning, right? Positioning in animation. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same animation for the hand as for this. We're gonna try to make it bounce, pointing down. I click the hand. I'm gonna select motion. Right now I need to align it to put it in a starting position, right? We're in the start. So we're gonna say it has to be smaller, so we're gonna scale it down, right? And then our position in the X will change. Our position in the Y will change. Maybe get it closer a little bit, and our rotation will change. This works a lot like, you know, any degree rotation. So if you want it, it's looking like that. If you want it down, you probably want a 90-degree turn. To start an animation, if anything's gonna change during time, you always have to click on the toggle animation icon, or the stopwatch is here. So you're gonna change scale, and you're gonna change position, you're gonna click on that. For this one, we don't wanna change scale, right? The hand stays the same size, we only want the motion. Let's make it move now. So we know where it's at, where it starts. So let's say here, we want to make it go down a little bit. So we're gonna grab the Y, right? And we're gonna put it right down here. All right, so we know where we started and we know where we're at. We probably want to go where we started back again in more or less the same time. So I click that keyframe.
Got it.
I copied it, Control C, right? And then we're gonna move forward a little bit, sorta in the same spot, right? This is by like eyesight. There's no real measurement. We're gonna add it back. Now we have movement, right? We have these two that move. So you're gonna grab those two again, move a little bit forward, right? Or actually, from the same keyframe, because we're in the same position. So if you want to jump back to a keyframe, this guy takes you right back to it. Whatever you edit here, it'll install it into that one. Yeah, you'll jump on the keyframe. So if you go here, next keyframe, we'll drop it again. Maybe that'll do what I think it did, but maybe not. So we're gonna double check what we did here. We're gonna move back a keyframe. We're gonna drop it there. Let's see how it looks so far.
The description down below. Say hi, Becca.
Nice smooth animation, right?
Hello, say hi,
nice little
Becca.
animation, but it stopped. So the copy and paste that we did didn't work. Why? Well, because we got the principle right, but the execution was wrong. We have a little glitch here. So remember, just go back and see. So we go from 996 and it goes up. Now it needs to go back down to this guy. So we're gonna just grab him, give us some space, drop it, and we need to go back up. Sometimes it's just better to do it manually. Plus it gives it a little bit more realism.
The description down below.
Right?
Say hi,
That's like a little bit
Becca.
less, a little bit less. And then we'll add the high one here. Oops. Control Z that. We need the low one again. Low one. And it copies and pastes it where the cursor's at. Right. We'll grab that. We'll grab this guy. It's basically grab the one from before. And then drop it there. I think that'll do it. Yeah. So just for that.
Down below. Say hi, Becca.
There you go.
Just call it
So
again.
now we can grab this.
This is
And we can put, we can either do another finger on the right, which would be cool, right? Would be cool. There's a nifty little trick for this too, to replicate the same animation. But when we copy and pasted this,
we gotta invert the
we the X has to be at a different position. So we're just gonna do a little quick copy paste. And the way you do that, right, you have this one highlighted. You're gonna press Alt, you're gonna click into it, you're gonna pull away from it. That's gonna create a new one for you. So 1529. But watch, it's gonna want to go back to that, right? You're gonna want to go to the next frame, paste it, go to the next frame, paste it, and you get the drill, right? Guys, if you're watching this video and you know a better way to do this, let me know in the description down below, because I'm still learning too. I'm just showing Deadpool what I think is the best way so far, but I'm sure I'll keep learning how to do these things a little bit quicker and quicker as we go. I'm gonna do now the high Pangus, but it's gonna zoom into the screen and sort of speed away on you. So that's another little effect that you can do. So text movement. So we're gonna add that here. We're gonna say hi. But we're gonna make it pop in and out of the screen. So we're gonna zoom in here. We're gonna identify the high.
Yes!
So that's the high right here. See it? Now we're gonna do scale and position. We're gonna start at 0, right? 0 first. So it's not gonna be visible.
So I just.
So high,
Yeah.
then Pangus. So it'll go from 0 to 100.
Yes!
Kind of like that. It jumps from outside the screen to in here. There you go.
That was
Little nice.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, little nice animation, right? So that's how you drop stuff in. It takes some time to like get the feel for it, but it's pretty easy. It's basically using the same tools over and over again of adjusting location and zoom or scale. So there we go. So that's the first animation. Now we gotta figure out what's the idea behind the video. What do we need to get to? Are we gonna go into the first stage? All right, when do we start talking about the first stage? So that's sort of my preferences, right? These videos can't have empty spots. Like there's gotta be something happening every single second. There's gotta be a point to be made, a joke to be landed, or something. If we're talking too much and rambling, that happens. And this video will probably be proof of it, because I'm probably not gonna cut too much of it. But the more you ramble, the less people will watch. Unless they're like truly invested into what you're saying. And that's rare and far in between. Everything likes to snap to each other, but sometimes it doesn't. So it's good to double check your cuts.
I shall defeat this cupcake. Sugarland Shimmy. Paris Bon Bon Bon. Ooh.
Alright. So again, empty spaces. You don't need them.
Music for this one's pretty good too.
But here, when it starts, let's just start right there.
So you get the.
Yeah, you get the nice fade-in effect. We have a loading screen, but the people at home don't.
Yeah.
Get it? So it makes it snappier. It's just our work for them to enjoy it more, right? Super snappy stuff. I hope this helps for all you guys who are starting YouTube, which I know a lot of you who watch me are. If you got to the end, thank you for watching to the end. I know this was a lengthy one, but I hope you got a lot from it. And as always, don't forget that I post here on YouTube every single weekday, and I also stream here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.